We know that internet produces a huge amount of data every day. We also know that the categorization of data is extremely important for us to take business decisions. It is not just categorizing the data, we also need to know that the data which has been categorized has to be measured in a certain way. And this concept is called scales of measurement. So today we are going to see what are scales of measurements and how to measure the data in statistics. See you on the other side. Hi there, this is Balu from SPTech. Today we are going to see scales of measurement. So before we talk about scales of measurement, we also need to know certain details about different types of data. We've already seen different types of data. We have categorized the data as quantitative data and qualitative data, and we have seen what are the different types of quantitative data and different types of qualitative data. If you have not gone through that particular session, I'll just put the link of this session on the top of your screen. You can go and click that particular link and watch that particular session. Okay. Now, what are the different measurement scales? Now, there are 4 different types of measurement scales which are very important. The first one is called the nominal scale. Then we have the ordinal scale, we have the interval scale, and we have the ratio scale. So we shall see one by one what are these scales and how we are going to use it. So what's a nominal scale? See, the nominal scale, we do not have any predetermined order. As we know what a nominal data is. A nominal data is a qualitative data or a categorical data which does not have any predetermined order. Now, given you examples of 3 Indian cars, 3 popular brands of Indian cars where you have Maruti, Hyundai and Tata. Now, these cars have been numbered for simplicity. I have number 1 for Maruti, number 2 has been given to Hyundai and number 3 has been numbered as Tata. Now, it does not mean that Maruti is an inferior car and Tata is a superior car because I have given 1 for Maruti and 3 for Tata. It doesn't work that way. Numbers are here used only for classifying it. That's it. It does not signify any order. And nominal scale itself says there is no ordering of data. It does not mean that you put Maruti, Hyundai, Tata in a certain order. You can also use the order as Tata, Hyundai and Maruti or any other order you prefer. Now, when I am actually doing a survey and when I am trying to collect the list of cars owned by an employee of a certain organization, I can basically create a table. I can see that I have created a table where I have spoken to around 10,000 employees in the organization and I am trying to identify what car types they own or what car brands they own. So employee number 1001 owns 1, 2, which means that he owns Maruti and Hyundai. So this is the way of actually measuring the type of car an employee owns. So we can find out the frequency or we can also find out how many number of cars Maruti has been a popular car for employee or how many cars have been owned by employees which are having the brand name as Tata. So this kind of scale is called as a nominal scale. So here the 1, 2 and 3 whatever I've given here does not have any meaningful value. It is just a number we are using just for ordering it. So let me give you another example of a nominal scale. Let us take, the jersey numbers of popular cricketers in India. We all know Tendulkar used to wear a jersey number called 10. Now, what does this 10 signify? 10 does not signify how many runs he has scored, nor does it signify the average score, nor does it signify how many matches he has played against a particular team. It doesn't signify anything. So it's just a number which has been taken as a random choice. Now, why did Tendulkar choose a number called 10? Because of the reason that his second name begins with 10. Tendulkar. So 10. That is why he chose the number called 10, which is perfectly arbitrary. Or Virat Kohli having a number called 18. Now, why did he choose a number called 18? Because it's understandable that he lost his father at the age of 18. So basically he chose the number called 18. And Dhoni choosing a jersey number of 7 because he was born on 7th of July. So the choosing of the jersey number is only by a random choice rather than it's going to have any kind of a mathematical meaning. So this kind of measurement is called as a nominal scale. Now we shall see what is an ordinal scale of measurement. See, in the ordinal scale of measurement, we have a definite order and the differences cannot be measured. So let me explain you this with an example. See, I have a table which has got 3 columns: name, percentage scored and rank. Now forget about the middle column for a while. We'll only concentrate on name and rank. Now we know that Vasu has got first rank and Kiran has got second rank and Kumar has got third rank. Now what does this signify? It has a certain order, that is first rank, then we have a second rank, then we have a third rank. So this signifies that Vasu has performed much better than Kiran and Kiran has performed much better than Kumar. But we don't know what is the percentage of difference or what is the difference between their performance. So if I want to know the differences between their performance, I need to have the percentage score. Now if I don't have a percentage score column, then we can say that Vasu is outperformed Kiran and Kumar. So this kind of scale is called as an ordinal scale. So in the ordinal scale, we only have the order, whereas we don't really find out what is the intervals between those orders. And it is illogical to do that also. So let's say, for example, you are doing a customer satisfaction survey of a particular restaurant. So you have certain values, like you have a value called 1 for excellent, you have a value called 2 for good, and you have a value called 3 called bad. Now you know that excellent is better than good and good is better than bad, but you cannot find the difference between 1 and 2 here. You cannot try and find the difference between 2 and 3 here. That's not going to make any logical sense. Therefore, an ordinal scale, we only have labels and we have a certain order. That's it. So we cannot find the difference between the orders. So then we can go to the next scale of measurement, which is called as an interval scale of measurement. So in interval scale, order does matter and differences can be measured. And one more important point in an interval scale is 0 point in an interval scale is arbitrary. So let's understand this with an example. So I have taken certain observations here, maybe the temperatures recorded. So I have got 3 temperatures recorded, 30 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. So you know that 60 degrees and 30 degrees, if you find, is a difference of 30 degrees. And if you say 90 degrees and 60 degrees, again there is a difference of 30 degrees. Now what does it actually imply? It implies that 60 degrees is hotter than 30 degrees and 90 degrees is still hotter than 60 degrees. So there is a difference of 30 degrees in the intermediate temperatures. So this is what is an measurement which is actually going to come into picture, or what we call as an interval measurement. And another important thing you need to understand here is, we can add 0 degrees here before 30 degrees. If you add 0 degrees here, the question is, will 0 degree add a value? See here, 0 does not have an absolute value here, because when you say 0, it does not mean that there is no heat. Because in a temperature scale, we can have values lesser than 0. We can also even have negative values. So when I say 0 degrees, it does not mean that there is absence of heat. So in an interval scale, we do not have the starting point as 0. Unlike other scales, like when we go to the ratio scale, we are going to have the starting point as 0. So what are the things we need to understand in an interval scale is, first of all, it has an order. So you can measure the differences. And if at all you wish to add a 0, you can add a 0, but it does not make any sense in the context. So this is an example of an interval scale. Next, we are going to see what is an ratio scale. So ratio scale is a quantitative scale where there is a true 0. So we'll understand this with an example, and you have measurable intervals between the neighboring points. So what is the difference between a ratio scale and interval scale? So whatever properties are there in an interval scale are also there in a ratio scale, with the only difference that in a ratio scale I have a true zero. Now what does it actually mean? I'll go and explain you with the help of an example. Let's say that we have marks of some students who have scored in a particular examination. So the marks are 70, 30, 56, 80 and 92. So they are all marks which have been scored. So I can put this marks in a certain order in order to get some meaningful information. So let's say that I'm going to put it in ascending order. When I put it in an ascending order, I get the marks as 30, 56, 70, 82 and 90. So that means in a ratio scale, there is a definite order. Now I can find the difference between the two marks. For example, the difference between 30 and 56 is 26 and the difference between 70 and 56 is 14. So like this I can find the difference between the marks. Now what is the meaning of a ratio here? The meaning of a ratio here is, in this particular list of marks, you know that 30 is the least marks and 90 is the highest marks, are the maximum marks. So I can find the ratio where I'm going to find out 90 by 30. That means I'm going to get a value called 3. What does it mean? It means that the person who has got the maximum marks has scored 3 times more than the person who has got the least marks. So there is a kind of ratio which I can deduce from this ratio scale. Another important point to be noticed here is, you can have a true zero in a ratio scale. What is the meaning of a true zero in a ratio scale? I can have 0 as the marks scored by a particular student. Now when I add a 0 as the marks scored by a particular student, what does that mean? It means that the student has not taken the examination. If the student has not taken the examination, naturally he would get a 0. Or a student has taken the examination and he has got all the answers wrong. Even then he gets 0. So this is the actual meaning of 0, and at any given point of time you cannot have a marks which is lesser than 0. So negative marks is not allowed here. So these are some of the properties of a ratio scale, and ratio scale is one of the best scales of measurement. Now let's look into the comparison matrix. Let's compare all the different scales of measurements against our data. So you can see that in case of a nominal scale of measurement, we have a labeled data, we do not have a meaningful order, we do not have a measurable difference, and there is no true zero starting point. If you take an ordinal scale of measurement, we have a labeled data, we have a meaningful order, but there is no measurable difference and there is no true zero starting point. In case of an interval data, the data is labeled, we do have a meaningful order, there is a measurable difference, but there is no true zero starting point. And when you take ratio as a scale of measurement, the labeled data we have, the meaningful order we have, there is a measurement difference and there is a true zero starting point. So we can say that the ratio scale is the best scale of measurement. So thank you so much for watching this particular session. I will see you in the next session. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.